Well, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for making time on this day when the wind is getting the better of all of us. Um, but more than that, jokes aside, we're so grateful that you chose to be part of this. The team has been working hard on setting this up. Um, my name is Nishtha Mohindra, and I'm the Director of Programs at Pathways of Hope. I help oversee all things programs and services. So everything on the hub side, our college work, the food pantries, our service navigation work, and I also help support the team on our housing front. So for some of you and for those of you who might not know, we operate family shelters. We also participate in the entire menu of services offered through the Continuum of Care programs. So a rapid rehousing program, permanent supportive housing program, we did undertake a really cool pilot this year called Safe Parking in Fullerton. And so all of that programming are things that we work on. Um, I will call on the three other team members that we have on this call to introduce themselves. So you have an idea of everyone who's on there. James, would you like to go next?
Yes, hello everybody. My name is James Kennedy. I'm the service navigator located here at the hub. So I help oversee the food pantry here at the hub and then also provide service navigation to our participants.
Thanks, James. And you're up.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ann Stoddard. I'm the volunteer coordinator here at Pathways of Hope, and it sure is lovely to see your faces. Some of you I've not met before because of the COVID pandemic and I'm remote. So welcome. I'm glad to see you, and thank you for your service. And that's about it. Thanks.
Thanks, Anne. For all of you who haven't been able to put a face to the name, Anne Stoddard is obviously a volunteer coordinator, and I'm sure you've all exchanged emails with her or a phone text. She's extremely instrumental to the work that we do. James, Mary, and I represent the core of the programming side, people who work with the community members directly or people who are involved in the service provision. And without further ado, last, definitely not the least, I'll let Mary introduce herself and then we can jump right into the presentation whenever you're ready, Mary.
Great. Hello, everyone. My name is Mary Esquivel. I'm the Service Navigation Manager. I manage our 4 food distribution sites and service navigation services. We have one for the public here in Fullerton, one at North Orange County Continuing Education in Anaheim, the other one at Fullerton College, and the other one at Cypress College. So we're going to go ahead and get started. We've worked really hard in bringing, tips and information for an enriching experience to all of our volunteers. It's important for us to help our volunteers understand the target population that we work with. So we'll go ahead and get started. So we just wanted to, talk a little bit about life during the COVID-19 pandemic. The coronavirus is a public and health emergency and economic crisis at this time. It is unprecedented in the disruption of our daily life. The pandemic has changed how we work, learn, and interact as social distancing guidelines have led to be more virtual existence, both personally and professionally. And, we all are experiencing this at this time. There's no doubt about that. Humans are wired for meaningful connections. I think that's why we all, work in this field, and not only why you volunteer. By nature, we strive to belong, to be part of a larger whole, to interact with each other. Due to social distancing, there are common reactions, including fear, anxiety, depression, stress, changes in appetite, increased use of substances, and worsening chronic health problems. More than 1/3 of the population reported financial barriers in feeding their family, keeping their family housed, paying for utilities, or keeping up with their medical costs. As service navigation team experience this as we work with our clients. 4 out of 10 people report loss of hours due to work to COVID-19. Low-income families are less likely to work from home, making it more difficult to arrange childcare. Parents are forced to stay home. They're struggling to support their children's education, nutritional needs, and emotional support. We would like to provide a resource. If you know someone who is struggling to discuss their thoughts and feelings during this difficult time, please provide them with the Cal Hope Warm Line. At the web link below, please pass on this valuable resource. We also wanted to talk a little bit about trauma-informed care. This is an approach that our service navigators use on a day-to-day basis when interacting with our clients. The approach begins with understanding the physical, social, and emotional impact of trauma of the individual. Everyone's experience of trauma may be different. Communicate in a dignified approach, asking what happened to you instead of what's wrong with you. We want to promote safety, trust, and empowerment. We want to emphasize through active listening, open discussion, and gain a more personal understanding of their situation. We would like to avoid any type of judgment to develop respect and trust. The key is empathy. The benefits to trauma-informed care approach, it builds a healthier, trusting relationship. It allows clients to engage more fully, and it improves long-term outcomes. Working at the hub and with our service navigation team, we also encounter co-occurring disorders with our clients. The most common types of co-occurring disorders include mood, anxiety, psychotic, eating, personality, and behavioral disorders. Each category includes numerous types of mental disorders that can range in severity. What does this mean? Clients may speak aggressively or feel the need to vent out their frustrations to you. They may blame you for their situation or claim that you're not doing enough to help them. What can I do to help? Speak with the clients in a kind, empathetic tone and understand some individuals may be struggling with co-occurring disorder. Treat all clients with respect and dignity. Use a de-escalation approach. De-escalation approach is aimed at calmly communicating with an agitated client in order to understand, manage, and resolve their concerns. Ultimately, these actions should be reduce the client's agitation, potential for future agitation, aggression. Please don't hesitate to ask a staff member for support. Your safety is our priority. Priority. Steps. Value the client. Acknowledge the client's concern as valid and important. Example, I can see you're upset. Let me see if I understand your concern. Reduce fear. Listen actively and offer genuine empathy while suggesting the potential for positive change. Example, is there anything I can say in order to improve things for you right now? Remain calm. Maintain a calm tone of voice and steady pace to decrease the emotional, behavioral, and mental intensity of the situation. Recognize a mentally ill person may be overwhelmed with the whole interaction. Stay safe. Maintain distance from the client without appearing guarded or fearful. The service navigation is on site to provide immediate support.
Hello, everybody. So I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about self-care. So the definition of self-care is the practice of taking an active role in protecting one's own well-being and happiness, in particular during periods of stress. Self-care also allows you to transmit good feelings to others and maintain a healthy relationship with oneself. So there are definitely numerous ways to practice self-care. Some may include exercise, journaling, meditation, just setting aside time to process the day, watching TV or movies, spending time with family or friends, laughing, deep breathing, listening to soothing music, dancing, or spending time with pets. There's a couple. So with self care, it looks different for every person. You know, this is just a small list of things that you could practice, but really trying to identify what works best for you and using that as your self care. There's a couple healthy reminders. You want to remind yourself to give yourself breaks. We're happy to step in if you feel you need a break, so please don't hesitate to ask another staff member or maybe a volunteer if you need somebody to step in. We are a team and we're here to support each other.
We also wanted to provide some nutritional resources. While you're here volunteering at the hub, eatfresh.org provides a mini course. It allows you to boost your nutritional, cooking, and healthy living knowledge. We also have a safe food handling certificate that you can actually retrieve from the Second Harvest Food Bank of Orange County. We do have the details there below. It normally is $15, but you can ask us for the Feed America coupon code and you will be able to pay for $50. Once you receive your certificate, if you could please mail it to us, that would be great, and we can put it on our wall at the distribution. Food Keeper app is a pamphlet that we do have on site that helps you understand the food and beverage storage. It helps you maximize the freshness and the quality of the food in the pantry. You also have the option to use it as a mobile application, and it is applicable to an Android or Apple devices. We also have the Start Simple with My Plate. That is a program that we do promote at the hub, where it just basically helps you pick simple daily food goals. Real-time progress, you can earn badges along the way, and there is also an easy-to-use app to help you make positive changes in your health eating styles. Any questions?
Oh, wow. Don't think we needed the entire hour. So we can get through this quicker. Um, you're welcome to keep this popcorn style if you feel like you have a question. And I'm happy to help facilitate our responses. If you feel like you'd like to type it out in the chat box instead, that's totally fine too. You could use the raise your hand app function on the Zoom call as well. William, I noticed you're unmuted, which usually in Zoom language means you have something to say.
It means I don't spend much time in Zoom land.
Did you have any thoughts or questions?
Not specifically. I did have a thought. I was just thinking about dealing with clients and sometimes how you'll be in a situation and will apply your own set of values or things materially that are important to you and think that it might be valuable to somebody else. I've gotten into, I know it seems kind of opaque, but that's something that I've learned it. Because something looks great to me doesn't mean it looks great to somebody else. Anyway, that's all.
That's a really good point. I think it is a lot about being where the community members are at, and like Mary mentioned in her presentation, just sometimes even acknowledging and saying that you do look frustrated. This looks like it's not been a good day for you. Acknowledging that we're not able to provide them the answers that they're looking for in the given moment in time helps almost start afresh with somebody who's in crisis. And yes, I think as participating members of, as volunteers, you help represent what Pathways of Hope stands for. And so as participating members, even, keeping our biases and our opinions in check is an important practice. And sometimes things that might seem important to us might not be for someone else, like William captured. but I'll also bring in Mary if she has any thoughts on that one.
I definitely agree. I think, being here at the hub, we encounter so many personalities, and with the work that we actually do here, it would be, naive to say that we don't instill those like personal, views. And I think that's why this tool is something that we wanted to bring to the volunteers and to new staff, just to, just bring us back to the quality of work that we do day in and day out here, and just bring us a little closer to a better understanding of who our client is.
Mary, I have another question on the chat from Emily T, because I believe there are two Emilys on the call. And the question is the senior serve certification a requirement for volunteers?
Definitely not. It is something that we wanted to add to our, presentation, and any new volunteers that will be coming on. It's just for your reference. I think sometimes it'll help you really understand the sorting process. Why do we have specific policy and procedures when we're actually running the food distribution? And that will tie everything in together, but it's not mandatory. And we do have a safe and food handling manual that can lay out some of the specifics. The Food Keeper is another tool that we do have. And we also have our food distribution manual as well.
Any other thoughts or questions about what was presented? If you would like an example or a follow-up on anything that was presented today. Monica looks like she's got this. I see her head nodding, and she knows that she understood, I guess, everything that was shared. I'll take a second to share. Volunteering in itself during the pandemic has taken a life on its own, and it's this completely different, trajectory. As you all might be already aware, we did refrain from having volunteers on site for as long as we could. So the staff really took, the heavy lifting on making sure that we were still distributing food. But with time, as the pandemic and more information came in and things became clearer, we recognized that the requests had gone up quite a bit, and we knew that we needed the additional support. Plus, a lot of you had been contacting us as well and talking about, hey, I'm ready to come back in. I can follow the safety protocols, make sure that I'm there. But in the interest of the fact that everything is going on, and if she hasn't already, we'll be sharing with you a COVID-related safety protocol disclosure form, and that's going to help encapsulate steps that we as a team and as an agency are taking to protect all of you, to protect the staff on site, and to protect the community members that we serve. So, when you get a chance to skim through that and have an opportunity to read through the form, feel free to ask Anne any related questions. She would be the best person to help respond to any safety protocols that have been set in motion for our volunteers. Paul has a question which reads, I am a volunteer at the Hub. What would you say are the most important things to know about the population that we encounter? James, may I bring you in to help provide some examples and some idea of what a volunteer can expect?
Yeah, definitely. So when working at the hub, some of the most important things to know, or just to kind of keep in mind when interacting with the participants, is, you know, everybody has a different situation. So we definitely do not know their background and kind of what they're coming to us with. I know not every experience with the participants is necessarily pleasant at times. But with that being said, we don't know exactly what they're experiencing outside of that quick interaction that we're having with them. So it's just keeping in mind that, you know, they may be presenting themselves in a certain way, but it is more than likely due to something that's not going on between just the interaction between you and the volunteer, you and the participant. You know, it's probably something that they have going on outside of the interaction. Also, I think just, and we touched on it in the PowerPoint, but just being empathetic, you know, being empathetic to them and to their situation. Um, you know, they are here accessing food. We do have participants that disclose that they're literally homeless, and you know, just trying to treat them with the dignity that, you know, you would want to receive if you're in that situation.
James. Miria, and if you feel like there's anything more that you'd like to add to that question, because I think it's a very relevant question for someone who's already part of our team as a volunteer and someone new who might be coming in. You know, what does the ground reality look like? What are people walking into?
When I hear this question, I think it's relatable not only to clients, but also to probably anybody that you interact with. It's one of those things where it's like you don't know what kind of day this person had or what they have to carry. And I think that's one really good point to look at and understand that we're all human beings. We all feel and we all need to be cared for, you know? So I think that when we are interacting with a client, you know, just bring it back to that, you know, like James says, that empathetic touch and be present with them in that moment.
Well said. Any
I do
other?
have a question.
Yes, go for it.
Is I've heard some of the clients ask the question too, in that now that we're handing out bags of food, maybe this isn't the forum for it, but is there a plan to go back to the shopping type environment when things hopefully change in the future?
It's a really good question. Yes. Short answer, there's absolutely a commitment to go back to our client choice model. You know, that's the best in terms of extending the dignity and the self empowerment as we could in our situation. But keeping in mind the pandemic, right now we don't have a timeline on when that might happen. Um, if you do encounter a community member who raises this question to you, feel free to you know, bring James or Mary in to have that discussion with the community member. If you feel like, you know, there isn't enough context. We just guarantee you that all the steps we are taking is to make sure that we are upholding any health and safety protocols that are best suited in the current circumstances. But we also recognize providing a bag of food is not ideal. And so, yes, there is a full commitment to go back to how things were and maybe even better once this is behind us. And would you like to share something with everyone while people are ruminating and maybe questions come up?
I just want to say thank you so much for your volunteering, your time and effort, and your willingness to actually grow and learn how to interact with those that, you know, need a little extra help and understanding. It's always a challenge to try something that may not be, but you all have that spirit of adventurous spirit, I can tell. And it's been rewarding working with each and every one of you and having you on board. I get to talk with you a couple of times, and I wish that in normal times I get to see you and we might do other activities and we could have more interface, but I'm looking forward to that in the future. As Bill knows, he's seen my face around the hub in the past, but I look forward to the coming back on site and having that interaction with everybody in physical and present. And I'm also appreciate all the I want to say, not concern, but your sensitivities to the health needs and being so safe and listening to Mary and James when they ask you to do certain things to help keep the environment safe for everybody, and your communication with me and the staff. You know, if you have any issues or if you're not feeling well, and you please reach out. We, as you know, do not place any judgments on anybody, and we just want to make sure everybody's healthy and safe. And we appreciate you greatly.
Well, we're
Agreed.
almost 5 o'clock.
I agree to that.
Yes. Yeah. Does anybody else have any other thoughts or questions? I'll give it a few seconds.
Actually, I do. I just started volunteering probably about 3 or 4 months ago there, and just want to let the staff know that I feel very safe and comfortable volunteering there, and it has been a really good experience for me. So it's something that I look forward to at the end of the week. You know, to start my weekend off with, although I don't have much plans on the weekend, but it is something nice to do, and I've had it's all been positive, and I really appreciate that. It made me feel comfortable, and so just want to thank the staff there.
Thank you, Monica. Thank you for saying that. And you know, since you brought that up, one of the things that we also wanted to pick everyone's brain on this call about was, can you think of something that we can improve in how things are getting done at present? You know, especially Monica, since you've joined us maybe the latest, and I could be wrong on that, so help me out. But is there anything that comes to mind, do you think, that we could do better in how we're conducting ourselves right now?
I personally don't think so. I think I've never volunteered at a food pantry before, so I really don't know how it's supposed to run. It seems like it's running pretty efficient to me. So I didn't know, like, when, you know, they came in and did their own grocery shopping, how that worked. But the way it's working now seems to be okay. I do like that. I hadn't been back since the Christmas break, how someone reorganized the stuff and put like the Pampers in different boxes, so we know exactly the different size Pampers. That was nice. So we wouldn't have to, you know, go looking for, you know, try to find the size. We either know we have it there or not. That was very nice. So I did like that. But I basically just hand out the bags, so everything's already packed when I get there, but everything seems to run very efficiently since I've been there. So I think they're doing a great job. No improvements on my end.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Monica. And thank you, Emily and Karen, for putting in those motivating and encouraging words in the chat as well. Emily shares her experience is that everything is very organized. Karen, thank you so much for, you know, giving kudos to our staff. They really are the best. I mean, I don't know what to say. I wouldn't work with any other set of people. We're really fortunate with the people who are associated with the mission. I'm glad that you find everybody on site helpful and feel like they do a good job. You know, if anything comes to mind, and if you've observed something, if you feel like you learned of something elsewhere, please feel free to share that information with us, and also tell us what more can we do differently, what are things we can do better, some things that we can pull back on. We really do want this to be a process led through the feedback that we get from all of you. And today's initiative was in that direction. You know, we hope to make this regular interaction where well, we haven't necessarily decided on a timeline just yet. Mary and I have discussed about doing this um, throughout the year on certain specific intervals. And so if you have any thoughts around that, or you feel like there are things we can add to this training, please feel free to share that with us. You're also welcome to email it later if you prefer that route. But I'm going to leave that out there and give it a few seconds if anything comes to mind. So we do have a message from Emily T, and she was wondering what the status was with the garden. And is this going to have things growing in it this spring or summer, or is it already? For that, I will turn to Mary.
That's a great question. We already are prepared with the foundation of the garden. Emily, not sure when's the last time you volunteered, but you're more than welcome to come visit. It is definitely on its way. We're already growing different herbs. We've had our first harvest 2 weeks ago, which produced kale, tomatoes, and lemons. We do have a pomegranate tree, peach tree, lemon tree, and an apple tree. There are baby trees, but they will be full in bloom. And we have a great gardening team. We have a volunteer by the name of Todd, that's our lead gardener. He is doing an amazing job with engaging the volunteers that want to participate. So if this is something that you are interested in, just reach out to Anne. She'll connect you with Todd, and you can see, how wonderful the harvest is going. And of course, seasons change and, different things will be planted, but you will definitely see a transformation, and we continue to work on it.
I took the liberty to share some of these photos that we have from when the garden was being set up. And for all of you who have been able to be there, Mary, you can probably walk us through those photos, but I can keep clicking through them.
Yeah, this is part of the foundation. The crew came out and they just started, painting the chalkboard. Todd has been, throwing down all of the mulch, putting the stepping stones, and they did water treat all of the garden beds, and here you see them adding the soil to that, to those garden beds. We did have this picture does demonstrate a huge area that we had that was just a monster. We had a palm tree that was just like taking over the whole area. Since then, it's all been cleared out. There's mulch laid out. Again, I encourage you to come take a look. You're more than welcome to see it. It's not fenced up, so you can just kind of walk around and see everything. The garden is definitely already growing. This is just the beginning stages when they were laying down the foundation.
We did actually recently get permission from the school district to use some of this fencing and have vines on there. So I know Mary's working on that too. And we are in the works of getting a fence around it to help try and protect, anything that's being grown. But Emily, it sounds like we will have a good produce.
Yeah. And if you want to join, reach out to Anne. We'd love to have you on the team.
Any other questions that come to mind about what's going on? Looks like not. Mary, did you have another slide that you wanted to share in terms of resources, or was that it on the presentation? You're on mute, Mary.
I apologize. It is just a reference page.
So while Mary gets that up on the screen and walks us through, if you are like, we're happy to share this presentation with you all, and would help us circulate it with everybody. If any other thoughts or questions come to mind, no question is, not helpful question. So please don't hesitate. It helps us learn more. It helps us know that we're doing the job that we intended to do. Seeing that there aren't any other thoughts or questions, should we make a motion to wrap this up for today? Yeah, okay.
Mary, I can include that reference in the email.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
Thanks, Anne.
Uh-huh.
Well, I'll start off by saying thank you, and thank you to all of you on this call. Everything that we do wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for everyone. That includes even our team on site. It just is so humbling to see the amount of concerted effort and the community motivation it takes, especially in a time as such, when we do have you around to make our community members feel that they're not alone in this. We as staff members can keep doing the best we can, but it is a limited number of person power. And so you help magnify, you help demonstrate, to bring that kind of team effort. And we really cannot do any of this without your support. With that, I will say thank you and open it up for if James and Mary have anything to share, or if anybody else has anything else to say.
I just want to say it's a pleasure to work with every single volunteer that comes through the hub. There are just so many, personalities, and I'm a people person, and, I enjoy, I do work a lot, at my desk. There's a lot of planning that goes behind what my role does, but when I have to fill in or help out, I really do enjoy those moments when I'm interacting with the volunteers or, interacting with the clients. So I truly, just appreciative that you all have the same passion for, what we do here at the hub. And I can't thank you enough.
Yeah, and I also wanted to, extend my gratitude to everybody on this call and, all the volunteers that we have. Thank you for your support. Thank you for the support that you provide me, that you provide the agency and our community that we serve. Together we make a difference.
Well said. Just as a recap, thank you again. It's great to meet you all. I get to put a name with a face, and that kind of helps me to know who you are too. And so now you know what I look like. And hopefully we'll meet soon in the next few months. And again, thank you so much for your service and following our mission and helping those that really need it in our community. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Stay safe, stay connected, follow us on the social media, keep showing up to the hub, check out the garden, and thank you very much for your time today. Awesome.
Nishla, you're still recording? I don't know.